A very good morning, students. As we have started with the 9th standard science, the lesson tissues. So, we have started with the first, that is the plant tissues. We have discussed all the types of the plant tissues. After that, a type of tissue remains, students, which is not classified under any of those types. That is what we are going to study it separately. That is epidermis. Let us learn about epidermis. Epidermis. This is also called epidermal tissue. So, this epidermis means this is the outermost cellular layer which covers the whole plant body. Means it may be the stem, leaves, root, the whole plant body is covered with a structure that is called epidermis or epidermal tissue. Epidermal tissue in plant body. The plant body consists of three types of tissue system. First one is epidermal or dermal tissue system. Second one, ground or fundamental tissue system. And the third one is vascular tissue system. Epidermis. This is the outermost layer of the plant body. How we have skin, no students, like that. So it is with a single layer, compactly arranged, made up of parenchymatous tissue. In each and every structural part of the plant body, like leaves, roots, stems, all are having covered with the epidermal tissue. If you take the stem and leaves of the epidermis, if you expand and see, so epidermis of stem and leaf are thick walled, surrounded by the thin covering called a cuticle, which prevent the loss of water. So this leaf and stem, the epidermal hairs are multicellular, known as trichomes. Trichomes help in preventing water loss. This epidermis of leaf and stem contains numerous minute openings called as stomata. Stomata surrounded by guard cells, bean shaped cells are there called as the guard cells. These guard cells are covered with the subsidiary cells. They lack chloroplast and permit gaseous exchange between atmosphere and interior of the leaf. That is the function of stomata. If you take the epidermis in case of roots, in roots the epidermal cells are thin walled and cuticle is absent. The projections you can see there, those projections are known as epidermal hairs. These are unicellular, they are called root hairs. The root hairs penetrate between the soil particles to absorb water and minerals. We have completed with the plant tissues. Let us begin with the next part of the same chapter, that is animal tissues. See students, if you take the animal body, it is more complicated compared with the plant tissues. That is what we find, more types of tissues and all in case of animal body. Let us take the example. We are taking the food. For what purpose we will take the food? To get the energy so that we can do the other activities, right? So you are taking the food. Food will enter the stomach. Only stomach will take part in that? No. Along with the stomach, liver, pancreas, small intestine, large intestine, like this, so many parts are there which will help for one digestion. Right? So all this together we are explaining as our digestive system. Okay, in the digestion what happened? The large food molecules have converted into simple food molecules. You are breathing in, alright? You are taking in the oxygen. So that oxygen, so you are calling that as your respiratory system. So what oxygen you have inhaled, it helps to convert that simple food molecules into glucose, right? Now the food has converted into glucose at last. Now this glucose has to reach each and every cell of the body. How it will reach? It reaches with the help of the blood. Because blood flows in the body, it can take it to each and every part of the cells. Right? Now in the cells, carbon dioxide is there, waste materials are there. So that all again blood will carry to the respective parts and the excretion takes place. Right? So what I want to say, see the connection between in our body, digestive system, respiratory system, excretory, it may be the circulatory system, all are interconnected with each other. Right? So like this, we find the animal body. That is what we are getting, many types of tissues in case of animals. Right, students? Okay. Animal tissues are basically classified into 4 types. Which are all those 4 types? The first one as epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, connective tissue and the nervous tissue. See, I have underlined epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, connective tissue and the nervous tissue. So if you take the epithelial tissue, again it is having squamous epithelium, columnar, cuboidal, glandular, like these types will come. If you take the muscular tissue, it is having the 3 types called striated, unstriated and cardiac. Connective tissue. See, again it is quite complicated compared to all these. The first one is areolar tissue. In this you find tendons and ligaments. Adipose tissue, only one type, fat cells are present. Skeletal tissue with the cartilage and the bone. Fluid connective tissue which carries blood and lymph. If you take our nervous tissue, it is having the neuron. Right, students? So these are, this much is the types of animal tissues. Hope you are taking down. So how these types are all classified? Based on their function and position in our body, the tissues are classified. Based on their position and what function they are performing. So based on these factors, for our convenience, we have made the animal tissues with the 4 types. Right? So let us study one by one. Okay? Imagine you are moving on the road and suddenly it starts raining. Unfortunately, you don't have umbrella. So you will become wet. After reaching home, you and your brain might be thinking, my clothes have become wet, but not my body. Means internal organs I am talking. Did my body absorb some water too? Only clothes have absorbed. Did the rainwater seep into my body? Will I bloat with all that water? No, this won't happen because our body is waterproof covering. That waterproof covering is nothing but the skin. Skin is one organ made up of epithelial tissue. So our body is made up of epithelial tissue. So this is nothing but the covering, the on top, how you are wearing the taking the umbrella or raincoat you are using, like that our body organs are covered with a protecting layer, that is the skin. So let us discuss about the epithelial tissue. Let us start with epithelial tissue. We should remember that there are mainly of 2 types. Okay, the cells which are tightly packed with each other and they looks like sheet of cells. Have you arranged tiles on the floor? No, like that it looks. There is another group of epithelial tissue where you don't find the blood vessels. At the base of the cells you find the blood vessels, right? And that base is called as the basement membrane. Nutrition for the cells is supplied with the basement membrane. So where in our body the epithelial tissue is present? Is it only on the skin? No, students. We find it on the skin. inside our respiratory organ and in case of the digestive system. So almost all, the whole body, the organs have covered with the epithelial tissue. Based on the location and function, there are various types of epithelial tissue. Start with the types of epithelial tissue. There are of two types based on number and based on the shape. Let us discuss number of layers of the cells. If it is having a single layer of a cells, they are called simple epithelial tissue. See this another diagram, it is a layer of cells, multiple, more layer of cells are there. You can't call it as complex, it is called stratified epithelial tissue. The meaning of stratified itself is placed or formed in layers. If the cells are in layers, it is called stratified epithelial tissue. If you have single layer, it is called simple epithelial tissue. Now, based on the shape, let us discuss based on shape of the cells. The first one, flat square like cells are there, as if it looks like your tiles. So if it is flat and square, it is called squamous epithelium. The second one, the cells are cube shaped, ice cubes, like that the shape it looks. Then these are called cuboidal epithelium. The third type, the cells looks like pillar, rectangular, column like if they looks, it is called columnar epithelium. So we have discussed based on number and shape of the cells. Now let us discuss the position of these types. Based on position, let us study the first one, squamous epithelium. This you find in our lungs as well as in the skin. Carefully you observe these cells, students. In case of lungs, the squamous are single layer and skin it is of many layers. Why it is many layers in case of skin? Because skin function is to protect. Protection it gives. That is what the cells are having many layers. Now coming to the lungs, it is having single layer. Why it is single layer in case of lungs? As it helps for respiration. Oxygen you are inhaling, it enters into the lungs. Then it is transported to the blood. So single layer of squamous cells, if it is there, it helps for transportation of the oxygen. So you have studied two types of squamous epithelium. One is simple and one is stratified squamous epithelium. The next one, cuboidal. See, the cells are cube-like, ice cube type. So it is cuboidal, where it has covered in our body, in kidneys as well as in the ducts or tubes of the glands, like tear glands, salivary glands, sweat glands have covered. See the kidney, students, it is made up of single layer of a cells. Why it is only of a single layer? Because kidney helps in absorption of the waste materials and excreting it out from the body. So we want only single layer. It is called simple cuboidal. It helps in the filtration. And coming to these ducts and all, sweat duct, salivary gland, tear gland, means it is having two layers because its function is to protect the duct from damage, called stratified cuboidal epithelium. The next one, students, that is rectangular cells, pillar like, columnar we said, no? So columnar, where you find lines of the organs of the digestive system, means stomach, small intestine, large intestine, all have covered with a columnar tissue or columnar epithelium. These are simple columnar because made up of single layer. Means, do you find multiple also, like stratified columnar do you find? No, students, we don't find multiple columnar because columnar itself, they are thick layer of a cells. So one thick layer of a cells, these are not multiple. They looks like multiple, just observe carefully, they are of single layer. So that is what these are called, pseudo-stratified columnar epithelium. Pseudo means false. They are not there but called stratified. Next one, cells with a special features called ciliated epithelium and keratinized epithelium. Columnar and cuboidal epithelium are having hair-like filaments, and hair-like filaments are called cilia. That is what the name ciliated. So all the striated epithelial cells are not having cilia. Only where the movement of particles is required, there we find, like food pipe. Because food pipe, it pushes the food down by contraction and relaxation, peristaltic. So you find. Next one, keratinized. In the stratified squamous epithelium, as the skin is covered, skin is having a protein called keratin. So it gives a waterproof to the body. That is what the name keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. The name is quite big, students. Next one, cells with a special feature. So students, ciliated epithelium. It is present in ciliated columnar and cuboidal epithelium, helps in smooth movement of the particles, and keratinized epithelium makes the skin waterproof. So these are the two special features of the cells. Yes, there are some magical tissues in our body, students. These cells can change shape according to the stress. Stress means amount of fluid present in the organ. As the fluid increases, the stress increases. So which organ can hold more fluid in our body? Think, students, it is our urinary bladder. As the bladder fills with the urine, the stress increases. Then it can change the shape of its cell. This is called transitional epithelium. This is again a list of epithelial tissues, students. The same one, once again I am repeating here. So here you can see one more type, that is glandular epithelium. The cuboidal and columnar epithelium are modified into glands, so called as glandular. Where you find? We find it in our salivary gland, gastric, intestinal, sweat, adrenal and thyroid gland. What is its function? Secretion of enzymes, mucus or the hormones. Second type we will discuss in our next class. So today's home assignment is practice the diagrams of all these types of epithelium. Okay, students? Thank you.